Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Professor RJ Blacone on Communication Excellence. Recently, I did a video asking for leaders to come forth urgently with calming voices because they're needed right now. This is a very divided country. Too many politicians have taken the recent murder of Charlie Kirk to try to spin it to their advantage. They've been pointing fingers at unnamed others, describing some people who commit violent acts as okay because they're doing it in a response to crime, and others being radicalized. From my perspective, violent crime is violent crime. There's no need for it, regardless of where it comes from. And we need leaders being willing to say that in attempts to bring us together. I'm happy that some of the things that I've been seeing in the last week do suggest some of those leaders are emerging. And a lot of them, not surprisingly, are coming from the governor's offices. And I, like many, think our next president will come from the ranks of a governor. We've seen that happen repeatedly because governors manage something. They manage a state, so they come with a certain amount of experience. Um, I like George Will's comment on the current state of the Senate. He describes the Senate as just a big green room for people to eventually audition for the presidency. Rather sad commentary. And in the House, folks seem to be more concerned about taking care of themselves than necessarily governing for the people. That's a little bit of an aside, but I'm just suggesting that I focus a lot on what governors do and say because I have a feeling there'll be strong candidates in the next presidential election. But I want to specifically highlight Spencer Cox from Utah, and as we see leadership start to emerge, just how he handled the aftermath. He was quick to point out that we have agency. We more than anyone else are responsible for our actions, and the individual that they arrested for the Charlie Kirk murder is responsible for that action. We need to look for unnamed others or say they did it. No, an individual did it, and he will be tried for that. I also was very heartened. There was a summit here in Pittsburgh, essentially a Stop the Hate summit, and Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, was the keynote speaker. And he, of course, he and his family were a target of political violence not long ago when the governor's residence was set ablaze, and with him and his family in the house. And it was just fortunate that they were not in the section where the fire broke out. But he was talking about the need for us not to try to assign blame to a group, to accept that individuals uh, are doing this, and to also accept that it's coming from people that have different beliefs and different ideology. It's not one side or another. It's something that we're all trying to deal with and address. And I thought it was noteworthy that that particular summit, uh, he was introduced by Tom Corbett, the former Republican governor of Pennsylvania. And Corbett has since announced his support of the Republican candidate who will be running against Shapiro. But in this instance, Corbett certainly understands that this is not a partisan issue. To bring people together and to say all forms of political violence are wrong and that we can't try to assign blame to one side or another. I mean, to suggest that, oh, well, see, when the one side's doing the violence, that's because they've been radicalized. And when the other side is doing the violence, that's because they're responding to what they see as an issue with crime. How absurd We need to demand and expect better. I know I sent letters to both of the U.S. senators in Pennsylvania just today saying, I want to hear more from you. I want to hear, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat. I want to hear your perspective on what's going on and what you think you can personally do and what we can all do to lower the temperature. That's what leaders do. That's what we need to expect them during times of crisis. We're starting to see some of that emerge, especially from the ranks of governors. I hope we start to see more of it. Thank you so much. If you like the videos, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take care.